Let's talk about Eminem. Speaking of discovering things. So you're the intern that Eminem talks about. You were about 18, 19, just promoted from the Interscope mailroom to A&R floater. You were working on Tupac's first posthumous album.
Yeah.
You get tipped to go to the Rap Olympics.
Yeah.
Freestyle battle in Englewood, 1997. Eminem loses the finals.
Yeah.
But you still knew. And you got his mixtape.
I don't know how anyone in that room didn't know.
Yeah, it must have been.
That's how much I knew.
Right.
Like I was like, is everybody else seeing this? Like,
yeah.
This is like as a hip hop head.
Yeah.
I had never seen anything like it.
Yeah.
I was like jaw to the ground. Like I've never seen it. Like the things that he was saying were like, I'd never seen anyone say that before. Wow. And also we were living in a post Marky Mark Vanilla Ice pre Eminem world where, I had also unsuccessfully shot my own demo as a rapper, where, there wasn't as much diversity in hip hop, at the time. I think there wasn't as much inclusion and acceptance of, you had to like, you'd get shot in the face to be like, to get signed, like you had to have like real street cred, and you had to have like, you had to be, co-signed by somebody else in the industry. Right. Like there was a whole other, there was ways, and by the way, even getting signed in the 90s, I mean, the barrier of trying to get signed as any artist in any genre was so hard back then.
Yeah.
First of all, like it's so expensive to make a demo.
Yeah.
Renting a studio and buying
tape,
2-inch tape, and like the insanity that went into actually being able to afford to make a demo.
Yeah.
And then you had to be repped by like one of like 10 lawyers, like Don Passman, Peter Paterno, Kim Guggenheim. Like there were like 10 lawyers that either repped you. If you weren't repped by them, no one was taking you seriously. Right. Yep. And so, or maybe like one of 5 managers, like Andy Kaplan or I don't know, whoever. Right. And so
Irving.
Yeah, exactly. If Irving called you, they were listening to your demo. Right. Yeah. But that was it. Right. And so, I think the ability to actually get a record deal in the 90s, it amazes me that anyone ever got signed. And having worked at Interscope, I would watch as the amount of demos would come in. And if they weren't from like so they weren't solicited by someone that they knew, they would just go in the trash.
Yeah.
It didn't matter if it was good or not.
Yeah.
And then if they were solicited by someone they knew, you would take these elaborate EPKs with these like, folders that spent $10 to $20 on, $30 on these glossy folders and photos with bios and like postcards and stickers and patches and this and that. And you would take the cassette out and they would say, oh, just bundle the letter, like the hey, this is so-and-so and this is this band, give me a call if you like it. Take that letter and you would rubber band it to the cassette and put it in a pile with like hundreds of cassettes on an A&R guy's desk. And you would take this very expensive thing and you would throw it in the trash. And then like 3 weeks later, 6 weeks later, whenever that tape got listened to, if they're like, that's actually pretty good, call them and ask them for a folder, like a folder. So like that entire folder you threw out, they'd send a whole other one.
Oh.
It was like the amount that what had to happen in order to get a record deal, I mean, then you had the anomalies like Smash Mouth. They had like Walking on the Sun playing on K-Rock and they were unsigned. So like everyone was trying to sign them. So like
there was anomaly though, as you said.
There was an outlier, right?
Yeah.
But like, I think that, it's amazing that anyone got signed ever. And Eminem is an example of that, because even with, me playing hooky from Tupac and almost getting fired to going to that freestyle contest because my friend Cassidy, who was DJing, was like, you got to get down here. I don't care what it takes. Going down there, seeing him lose, going up to him, handing him my fake business cards that I had made because they hadn't made me business cards. I had taken buck slips and I'd cut them down to business cards and wrote my cell phone number in the back. And going up to him and his manager at the time, Mark, and being like, hey, I work at Interscope and A&R, I was the floater, but whatever that meant. And, you're amazing, this and that. And they gave me the Slim Shady EP sampler cassette.
So good. And
driving home, listening to that in my car with like, I'd never heard anything like it. It was like, Just Don't Give a Fuck, Just the Two of Us. If I Had, a song called Low Down and Dirty, which didn't make his first album, a couple other songs. And it was just like, I had never heard anything like it. And then the next 5 months of trying to get anyone to pay attention to it. And then him coming into town and then slipping the tape in Jimmy's bag. And then Dre having to take the tape out of his bag and playing it randomly out of all the tapes. Now that Jimmy had like a demo bag that would sit behind his assistant's desk, and all week
Jimmy Iovine
all the A&Rs at Interscope who wanted Jimmy to hear something would come in and stick their cassette demos into that demo bag. And at the end of the week, Jimmy's driver, Steve, which is actually his name, would grab the demo bag and cinch it up and take it with it, and Jimmy would go home with it. And I don't know if Jimmy listens to it, when he listens to it. I wasn't in Jimmy's world. So, but that bag was filled with lots of demo tapes, or maybe the new version of a No Doubt album or something that Jimmy had to listen to.
Yeah.
And for Dre to then pick that one out and listen to it that night, while Eminem happened to be in town that weekend doing radio.
Yeah.
How is the universe not at play there?
Right.
Eminem was meant to be what Eminem is today.
Yeah.
And that is all of the proof that I need.
Yeah.
Because all of the things that needed to go right in order for Eminem to happen, happened. And by the way, I do not want to take credit for all of this. So mind you, I'm not saying I should get credit for all of this, but if you continue the domino falling effect of me going to the freestyle contest, Eminem being in town, Dre hearing the tape, me going lean in, put the tape in the bag. I don't care if I told
and even before that, you were trying to get Tom Wally to
pay
attention.
Every A&R passed on it,
Yeah.
and I could tell you what they all said, but I won't because I don't want to embarrass them. But no, but you know who you are.
What did they say? Give us one. Give us one.
There was another white rapper out of New York named Cage, who Eminem was like actually feuding with, who never became big. But the one guy was like, I don't know, I kind of prefer Cage. I was like, how did that work out?
Yeah.
But there was a lot of, I don't get it. There's a lot I just don't get it.
You were continuing the domino.
Yeah, but the domino effect, right? So going there, the tape in the bag, him listening to it, M being in town, not signing with somebody else in the meantime. There were other labels that were interested. He had already been unsigned hype in The Source. So like, it wasn't like people didn't know about him. Making the record essentially being shelved.
Wow.
The music video happening. Hi, My Name Is music video happening, which I believe Dr. Dre and the director Philip Atwell paid for out of their own pocket.
Wow.
That video, Jimmy having the foresight to go to MTV with that video to basically break a record, which I think was like maybe the first time a video ever broke a record on radio. Like the video went to MTV before the song went to radio. The radio was forced to play it because of how big the song got on MTV because of the video.
Amazing.
Then the record all of a sudden not essentially because they didn't know what to do with it, and then putting it out and then it blowing up to the way it did. Okay, Dre's back, right?
Yeah.
Then came Snoop's back. Then came 50 Cent in the game, and Exhibit having a moment. Then came Beats by Dre. Then came Beats Music. Then came Apple Music. I mean, if you look at this domino falling from this freestyle contest in Englewood.
Wow.
And you extend it all the way out to all the things that maybe would have happened, but maybe would have happened differently. You don't know, right? They all might have been destined to happen in their own way. But this specific timeline, if we believe in this multiversal, you said Spidey senses, so let's take the Avengers approach of multiverses. If you believe in this universe that we live in, this timeline that we live in, this domino effect, again, I don't want to take credit for it. I'm not taking credit for all this stuff. A lot of people, very smart people, spent a lot of time and money and brilliant ideas and came up with all these ideas. I had nothing to do with the 50 Cent album or the creation of Apple Music. But that moment led to this moment, to that moment, to blah, 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 blah. This domino that kept falling changed how we listen to music, changed popular culture, changed everything.
Yeah.
And if you want to give credit to anyone, it's really Eminem. Like Eminem kind of should get credit for the music industry of the last 20 years.
Wow.
It's a kind of a weird thing to think about.
It's crazy.
But all of the things but if not for Eminem blowing up and not being who he was and being 100%, having 100% conviction in who he was and just saying whatever he wanted to say and being that brilliant. But if not for that.
And for you having that 100% conviction in him, like bringing it to every A&R, trying to get it, everyone being like, no, you sneaking it into Jimmy's bag. And then that happens. And then you end up working on the record as an A&R and you do all that stuff.
But I was also one in the line of that domino, right? Like the Bass brothers, Jeff and Mark Bass, they saw that in Eminem when he was 15. and
Yeah.
they signed him to Web Entertainment
Yeah.
well before I ever met him. And
Yeah.
they're the ones, who I became close with and started working with a lot, when the M stuff happened. Like, I love Marky and Jeff, and their team in Detroit are the ones who like really took him in
Yeah.
and nurtured him.
Let's go.